Hey guys, this is EckhartsLadder. Hello and welcome to the first episode in a new series that I'll probably be putting out periodically as I've got a kid on the way and occasionally I'm going to need some short videos. This will be Star Wars Thoughts, where I just make a video about something I've been thinking about in the Star Wars universe without as much focus on the specifics of lore. Think the Death Star contractor scene from Clerks, for example. So last week I put out a video on why Imperial Walker designs are stupid, and a lot of people in the comments mentioned that walkers and wheeled vehicles are used because repulsor lift speeders are vulnerable to what's known as repulsor lift jammers. So these are devices which supposedly disturb the repulsor lift mechanisms within flying or hovering vehicles, causing them to slow down and perhaps even crash. And again, I don't want to get too into the lore, but my idea for this video actually came from the Imperial Handbook, which gives probably the broadest description of repulsor lift jammers, saying be aware of the fact that atmospheric interference or repulsor lift jammers can render repulsor tanks grounded. We also saw in the most recent Thrawn novel the effect that the loss of repulsor lifts can have on a vehicle. Instead of having magical anti-gravity keeping your ship afloat, you have to rely on real-world physical concepts, like thrust. Unfortunately, Star Wars ships aren't really designed to fly in atmosphere without repulsor lifts. But how does this relate to the topic of today's video? How the CIS could have crippled the Republic with one blow? Well, the political, economic, and military elite of the Republic were stationed heavily in the core worlds, and specifically ecumenopolises like Coruscant. And what do we see when we look at Coruscant? Kilometer-tall buildings with repulsor lift vehicles flying everywhere. And I'm sure some of you already are starting to see my point. The Separatists could have caused absolute mass pandemonium within the capital of the Republic by simply smuggling a few repulsor lift suppressors to the planet's surface. Activate maybe 10 of those and every repulsor lift vehicle in the vicinity becomes a projectile. Sure, maybe some of them will be able to recover, but without repulsor lifts, we saw that even Anakin Skywalker struggled to survive. We also know that droids were able to make their way to the planet's surface, and just due to the sheer amount of traffic entering Coruscant daily, it's impossible to screen every freighter or civilian craft. So if I could take control of the Separatists, my first action would be to invest heavily in research dedicated to anti-repulsor lift technology, and this should actually be within their expertise. They heavily use repulsor lift vehicles like the AAT, the STAP, and various other vehicles. Once you've got the device as powerful and compact as possible, smuggle as many operatives to key core worlds like Coruscant, Corellia, Alsakan, and even Kuat. Then, with one coordinated strike, activate them and watch the chaos unfold. Without shedding any Separatist blood, or droid parts at least, you've caused massive civilian casualties, as well as incredible confusion. And what's more, suddenly the core doesn't feel safe anymore. Oh, and do you know what other key Republic institution used repulsor lift technology? The Senate, with its floating pods. Now, I will admit that it's possible that even the best repulsor lift jammer wouldn't cause a craft to crash to the ground. I mean, we really don't know because the lore is so unclear, but there's at least a heavy possibility for catastrophe, with vehicles more difficult to control, and I mean, just look at the traffic on Coruscant. But this was just a random thought that I had. What do you think? Was repulsor lift technology too rare and expensive to be used this way? Was it not effective enough to actually cause vehicles to crash? Or is my idea just stupid? Let me know all of that and more down in the comments. I'm also curious whether you guys like this new video series where I kind of just talk about ideas I've been having. And again, it will be less strictly lore focused and more of a general conversation, like a couple of friends talking. Anyway, until next time, this has been EckhartsLadder. May the Force be with you.